I'm going to demonstrate how to mount and dismount a semi-tire. This is how I do it. Obviously there's a million ways to do the job. Maybe right, maybe wrong. I do this every day and this is how I do it. So I figured I'd share with y'all. I can do it pretty quick, pretty efficient. Figured I'd demonstrate for anyone that might want to know. There's different ways to do this with different types of tools. Some guys do it with 2 bars, similar to these. Or these exact. You can totally dismount and mount the tire with only these. I know how to do it that way too, but it's harder work and I prefer to use the gold bar for a lot of the steps that some guys use these for, but the gold bar is definitely easier on the body and I find it to be faster. So I'll show you how I do it and y'all can go from there. First thing you obviously need to do is deflate the tire. So I always have it up this way to start, and that way I can let the air out, break this bead, flip it over, break that bead, and then it's in the right position to dismount. So that's how I do it. Anyway, I'll let the air out and we'll move on from there. This is a 24/5 semi-tire. Alright, the air is all out, tire is deflated. This is simply an old plastic bottle that I've drilled a hole in the lid and I filled it with a mixture of water and dish soap. There's fancy lubricants for putting tires on and off. I use a expensive fancy lubricant for putting the tire on, but for taking it off I simply use the cheapest dish soap you can buy and water. And I go like this. This is a bead axe, simple tool, you can buy it anywhere. Try to hit the tire right here. You don't want to hit the rim like I just did and hit the edge of the rim. It really doesn't matter, but ideally you just want to hit the tire right there. This bead broke very easily. Some of them take a few hits and they're much more difficult. Then I simply flip the tire over like this. This bead broke for me. Lots of times you'll have to stand up on the tire and simply hit it right here to break the bead like it has, but this one came apart easy, which is great. Then I just lubricate this side with the cheap dish soap and water. Then I take the gold bar, put it like that, and kick it in like that. Then you grab this, and you have to lift this up. Now the trick here is if you pull like this, it's miserable. But if you get up here, stand on the tire, you see how I can push it down? So you push down on the back of the tire, like that, and standing on it, and pull this. Pops it right off. Just like that. Then you take this, put it like that. This tool here, come on in and I'll show y'all, has a lip right here. See? See this lip? That is where the bead has to be hooked for the second side. So you hook the bead in there like that. Simply, sometimes it falls out. Then you just lift up on it like that. There, that bead has to be hooked in there. Then you just push down like that and it hooks the bottom bead. And then for this side you stand in the rim like this just to keep the rim down. Pop it like that. And simply pop it off. Just like so. There you have dismounted the tire. For putting it back on, it's fairly simple too. We'll show you how that's done. So universal mounting paste. You can use any kind of mounting paste you choose. There's a million different manufacturers. I'm almost out of this. I have another pail over there, but we'll use this. Simply brush the lubricant onto the bead. And then I just go like this, turn it around, and then I do this side. Same way. Then for that inside bead, I use the bead axe to put it on. Some guys will put the whole thing on with the bars. Sometimes I do it that way, but I prefer the bead axe for the first bead. I find it quicker. So I just put it on as much as I can like that with my knee. And then I take the bead axe and I simply... Some people don't like doing this because you could put marks in the rim, but in this case it really doesn't matter. These go on an old trailer, not a big deal. If it was a polished rim on a brand new Peterbilt or whatever, you might want to use the bars to prevent marks, but this is quicker. This is how I do it. There, first bead is on. It's that easy. I wasn't always good at this. I was taught by different people and I struggled for a while. Some people's method is just ridiculous. Other people's is so-so. I finally just took a whole bunch of methods and came up with my own, and I'm pretty efficient at it now, so I'm happy about it. It used to be terribly hard on my body and not a lot of fun, but now I really don't mind doing the job. So the last bead is fairly easy too. This is all fairly easy. Some people struggle with it, but I used to struggle with it. Since I learned how, I really don't find it that hard. So now you use your irons. There's a million different kinds of these. These are just cheap Princess Auto tire irons. So you stick the first one in there, pry your bead. And then I just switch hands, keep that one in there, pry your bead. Switch hands and you just walk it like this all the way along. Simply do that. Switch hands. Just be careful this bar doesn't fling back and hit you. Like that. And when that little last bit won't go, I got an easy trick. I just grab the bead axe again, come to this side of it, on. Yeah, and then I just stand it up. Lean it up over here. Alright, now to beat up your tire, which means put air in it and get it back on the bead of the rim. Simply hook that. And I always roll it. That makes it go on. I don't know why, but it works every time for me. I rarely use a bead blaster. Okay, now it's just whenever the bead's on, I got my core out, so got to put your valve core back in. All right, I put the core in. And these tires, I do not inflate these tires. We inflate them to 100 PSI. I do not do that with the tire loose. Professionals have a cage that the tire goes in and they inflate them in a cage. I don't have a cage, so what I do is get it on the bead and I inflate it to about 35, 40 pounds at the most. And then I'll bolt it to the truck, like put the tire mounted on the truck and inflate it the rest of the way. That way if the tire explodes, the rim won't kill you. We had a tire explode in the shop here not too long ago at one point in time. And luckily it was at low air pressure and wasn't bad, but I would never want to inflate one of these without a cage. I know the consequences and it's just not a good idea. So if you bolt it to the truck and inflate it, it's contained and it's not near as dangerous. That's how I do it. I would recommend doing it that way. So just check my air pressure. I've got 50 pounds in the tire right now and that's it. That's good enough. I won't put any more in it while it's loose. And this tire isn't going on a truck today. It's just one that I'm keeping at the shop here for when we need it. So what'll happen is it'll sit here with 50 pounds. When we mount it on the truck, we'll inflate it to operating pressure at that point. So yeah, that's how I mount a tire. That took me about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, but really not that long. This tire came off easy. Sometimes they are a little harder, but same thing. You can always get it off the same way. So anyway, thanks for watching, and any questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks.